My name is Elena Vasquez, 31 years old, lead data scientist at Aurora Analytics in Seattle. For 9 years I had been the same unspoken job title at home, family bank. It ended on a rainy October night at Canlis, the kind of restaurant that makes you feel underdressed even when you're wearing a $900 dress you bought only because your mother once said, "You'll never look elegant, Elena, but at least try." That was the night my father looked around the table, smirked, and said loudly enough for the sommelier to hear, "Tell me, how does it feel to be the least accomplished person at this table full of winners?" Everyone laughed, my mother's tinkling, practiced laugh, my brother Mateo's forced chuckle, my sister Camila's delighted squeal. Only my sister-in-law Rachel kept her eyes on her plate. I felt the familiar heat crawl up my neck. Then something inside me snapped cleanly in two, like an overstretched cable finally giving way. I smiled, set my fork down, and asked, "How does it feel knowing the least accomplished one has been paying for every winner's lifestyle for almost a decade?" The laughter died as if someone had flipped a switch. That was the moment I stopped being the family ATM. Growing up in the Vasquez house in Tacoma, love was a currency you earned by never inconveniencing anyone. My parents, Luis and Sofia, were charming, attractive, and perpetually broke. My father sold luxury cars he could never afford to drive himself. My mother gave image consulting to wealthy women while wearing counterfeit designer bags. I was the serious child, the one who preferred books to parties, math team to cheerleading. From the time I was 10, my report cards were perfect, my science fair projects flawless, my college applications obsessive. Every achievement was met with the same response. "That's nice, Mija, but why can't you be more like Camila? She has friends." Or, "Good scholarship, Elena, but Mateo got into UW on a football ride." Real men play sports. By the time I graduated valedictorian, I had learned that excellence was tolerable only if it came with money attached, and even then it belonged to the family, not to me. I left for MIT at 18 years ago with a full ride and a promise to help out when I made it. I made it quickly. By 25 I was a senior data scientist in Seattle. By 28 I was leading a team of 12. My salary cleared $220,000 a year plus stock. I bought a sleek condo on First Hill with floor-to-ceiling windows and a view of Elliott Bay. My family never saw the view. They saw only the direct deposits. It started small. Dad's car needed repairs. Mom's medical bills, mostly Botox and fillers, piled up. Then Mateo blew his knee senior year and lost the football scholarship and needed tuition. Camila decided beauty school was beneath her and wanted to find herself in Los Angeles. I paid. Every time. Because that's what good daughters do. Soon 60% of my take-home pay vanished into their accounts. I drove a 5-year-old Civic while my mother drove a leased Mercedes. I ate leftover takeout at my desk while they vacationed in Cabo on my dime. I skipped conferences in Tokyo and Zurich because someone always had an emergency. They never said thank you. They said, "You're so lucky to have a job like that," or "Family helps family, Elena. Don't be selfish." I started having panic attacks in the elevator at work. My therapist, Dr. Patel, used words like enmeshment and financial abuse. I nodded, cried, scheduled another session, and wired another $8,000 for roof repairs that somehow never got done. The Canlis dinner was meant to celebrate my promotion to Director of Data Science, the youngest in company history. I had reserved the private window table, ordered the chef's tasting menu, and sent cars for everyone because Mom hated driving in the rain. They arrived 40 minutes late, already tipsy from pre-drinks at home. Mom kissed the air beside my cheek. "Darling, that color washes you out. You look tired." Dad ordered a $400 bottle of Bordeaux without looking at the price, then turned to me. "So, Director. Does that mean more money or just a fancier title?" Mateo slapped my back too hard. "Don't worry, sis. We'll help you spend it." Camila flashed her new engagement ring, a 2-carat oval I had not known about. "We're thinking spring wedding at the Fairmont Olympic. Rooftop. You'll handle it, right?" You're the rich one. I opened my mouth to protest, but Dad was already complaining about the country club fees going up again and how unfair it was that the initiation for Mateo's future father-in-law was now $125,000. I felt the familiar tightening in my chest. That's when Dad delivered his punchline about me being the least accomplished one at the table. And I broke. I don't remember standing up. I only remember the hush that fell when I spoke. Let me make something clear, I said, voice steady in a way I had never heard from myself. Tonight is the last night any of you eats on my tab. The automatic payments stop Monday. The credit cards in my name get closed. The wedding, the country club, the cars, the rent in LA, all of it, ends now. Mom's mouth opened and closed like a goldfish. Dad's face turned the color of Merlot. You can't be serious. Dead serious. I pulled out my phone, opened the banking app in front of them, and cancelled every recurring transfer while they watched. Done. Camila burst into tears. You're ruining my life. Mateo muttered, ungrateful bitch. Rachel, bless her, reached over and squeezed my hand under the table. Dad leaned forward, voice low and venomous. You walk out of here, you're no longer my daughter. I looked at each of them in turn, my mother clutching her pearls, my father vibrating with rage, my sister sobbing theatrically, my brother glaring like I'd stolen something from him. Then I guess tonight we all get what we want, I said. I laid down cash for the wine already poured, apologized to our server, and left. The rain had stopped. The air smelled like pine and salt. I stood on the sidewalk and laughed until I cried, because for the first time in years I was breathing. The fallout was immediate and nuclear. By the time I reached my condo, my phone was exploding. 63 missed calls. Texts ranging from Mom's hysterical all caps to Dad's icy threats to disinherit me, as if there was anything to inherit. I turned it off, poured myself a glass of the good scotch I'd been saving for a celebration that never came, and slept for 10 hours straight. Monday morning I froze every account they had access to, changed passwords, removed them as authorized users on every card. I called my financial advisor, Marisol, who gasped at the numbers. Elena, you've transferred almost $420,000 to them in 8 years. That's a house. That's 2 houses. Tuesday my father showed up at Aurora's lobby screaming that his daughter was trying to kill him by withholding his heart medication money. Security escorted him out. I filed a no-contact order by HR request. Wednesday I discovered the real depth of the betrayal. While cleaning up authorized users, I found 3 store cards, 2 personal loans, and a car title loan, all in my name, all opened without my knowledge. Total damage, $87,000. My parents had been committing identity theft for years. I sat on my kitchen floor and ugly cried for an hour. Then I called a lawyer. Marcus Park met me the next day. After reviewing the documents he said quietly, we can go criminal or civil. Criminal means jail time for them. Civil means they repay and we stay out of the courts. I chose civil, but only just. I still dream sometimes about the criminal route. We scheduled a meeting in Marcus's office. My parents arrived expecting tears and capitulation. Instead they found me, Marcus, and a stack of evidence. Within 20 minutes my mother was sobbing that it was only borrowing, my father insisting he'd always intended to pay me back when the market turned. They signed the repayment agreement with shaking hands, $87,000 plus interest, secured against whatever equity remained in their house, $1,500 monthly or I file charges. They left without looking at me. After that, the smear campaign began. To cousins, aunts, church friends, anyone who would listen, Elena had a nervous breakdown. Elena was on drugs. Elena was jealous of Camila's beauty and Mateo's charm. Elena had always been cold and selfish. Most believed them. A few didn't. My abuela called me in tears after Mom told her I'd put them on the street. I flew to Yakima, showed her the forged signatures, the secret accounts. She crossed herself, kissed my forehead, and said, Mija, I am so sorry I didn't see. That forgiveness from her meant more than any apology my parents never gave. Camila's wedding was downsized to a backyard ceremony with 40 guests. She paid for it herself by picking up shifts at a boutique. She texted me the night before, "I get it now. I'm sorry. Mateo got a job coaching high school football and moved into a studio. He sent one message 6 months later, I was an asshole. I miss you." I didn't reply to either right away. Some bridges need time to be rebuilt plank by plank. I bought a house the following spring, a 1920s craftsman in Madison Valley with a wraparound porch and a kitchen big enough to dance in. I painted the walls terracotta and teal because no one was there to tell me those colors were too much. I adopted a dog, a ridiculous mutt named Ada after Lovelace, who thinks she's a lap dog despite weighing 70 pounds. I traveled, Kyoto in cherry blossom season, Reykjavik under the winter solstice, Patagonia the summer after that, alone, with friends, with a man I met at a conference in Berlin who makes me laugh until my ribs ache. 2 years after the night at Canlis, I ran into my mother at Whole Foods. She looked smaller, hair freshly colored but clothes cheaper, no jewelry except her wedding ring. She started with the usual script, "Your father's blood pressure, we're struggling, if you could just." I cut her off gently. "You have Marcus's email if there's a legal matter." Her face crumpled. For a moment I saw the mother I'd wished for, exhausted, ashamed, human. Then the mask slipped back on. "You'll regret this when we're gone." "Maybe," I said. "But I won't regret protecting myself while you're here." I paid for my groceries and walked out into sunlight. Some nights I still wake up at 3 a.m. with my heart racing, certain I've made a terrible mistake, that I'm selfish, that real families forgive everything. Then Ada licks my face, the city glitters outside my bedroom window, and I remember, I am not the mistake. I am the consequence. And for the first time in my life, I am free. If you've ever had to choose yourself over people who were supposed to choose you first, know this, it hurts like hell, but the other side is wide and bright and yours. You deserve to live in it. Thank you for listening to my story.